is the company of 2012, and in this room I am very confident that we will be back in 2018 and you will be telling us about what we don't yet see today, but what you have seen because of your ability to take your expertise as an electrical engineer, a computer engineer, a software engineer, but think about something bigger, different, from a different point of view, and be the Apple computer of 2018.
Thank you Wayne. So Wayne có chia sẻ về cái chuyến viếng thăm lần đầu tiên đến Trung Quốc với lại Qualcomm, và cũng trong những cái lần này mà đã có một bạn mới 14 tuổi là người đầu tiên sáng tạo ra một cái app cho cái cell phone, và vì vậy nên ngày hôm nay, cái buổi gặp mặt ngày hôm nay cũng làm cho John liên tưởng đến cái kỷ niệm đó với lại Qualcomm. Ngày trước cũng là một công ty cũng rất là nhỏ và cũng struggling, nhưng mà ngày nay như các bạn biết rất là thành công. To follow the conversation about young talents and how they grow, I was struck by your story of mentorship, John. It's a long history of so many entrepreneurs in your life that you mentor, including Steve Jobs and including so many other entrepreneurs. And I believe this is a very important part for young people like the audience here. So I would like to hear more about your stories of how to help them out of failure, how to learn about failure, and how important is that, the mentorship, especially the two of you are here, probably we hear two sides of the story.
I was giving a speech in India last year at ASCOM, which is the big business process outsourcing conference in Mumbai. And one of the questions from the audience was, why with all of these highly trained Indian engineers, graduates of IT, who've gone to Silicon Valley, who've worked, and if you look at the senior level executives in Silicon Valley now, most of the big corporations, there are Indian executives at the highest levels. He said, why is it with all of this talent that we have in India that has been so successful in Silicon Valley, and now many of them are coming back to India, why is it that we in India have never created a Facebook, an Apple, a Google, an Amazon? And as I thought about it, I said, well, it's true, this incredible talent that has come from India to Silicon Valley, and many of that talent has even returned to India. But I said, we have something in our culture in America, which is permission to fail. It's okay to make a mistake. In fact, it's not only okay, it's held up as a badge of honor if you fail, but you're expected to learn from the failure. And it's all part of your learning experience to be a creative person. We call it think outside the box. We call it willing to take risks, to be courageous and think in new ways. There has to be a better way, was the saying at Apple. No matter what we were working on, we were always encouraged to think, well, there has to be a better way to do something. And that means taking risks, and it means failing. And in India, there is no culture for failing. It's not built into the culture. I suspect it's not built into the culture in Vietnam. So what I believe that mentors can do is that mentors can help entrepreneurs reach out a little further to take risks and to try things they might not otherwise try. And if they fall and make a mistake, to help them get back up again. Mentors are not the visionaries. That's the entrepreneur. Mentors are not the management. That's the management team. Mentors do not create the products. That's the engineers. But mentors can be the advisors. As I thought back in my career in Silicon Valley and then later in technology, I said, I wish I had had a mentor. I didn't have a mentor. So when I made my mistakes, I had to pick myself up. And I probably would have done some things differently. But I said, I wish I'd had a mentor. So I said, I'm going to make sure that I can at least be a good mentor to other people who come along. So it's not always precise to be able to explain what the mentor does. I don't know whether I'll ever be able to say, well, I helped Sonny do something specific. But he knows that he's always got a mentor there. He knows that it's a resource that he can tap into. And I believe that if we're going to be successful in doing ambitious, creative innovation in Vietnam, we have to create a culture that will be complementary not only to the discipline and excellence and the Confucius culture that you've had for thousands of years in Vietnam, but we've also got to create an environment where it's okay to take risks, it's okay to take chances, it's okay to fail, and no one's going to penalize you for failing, and that there are mentors around. Sonny may be the CEO of the company, but he can also be a mentor to many of you. He spends about a third of his time in Vietnam. So the role of mentor is increasingly important, I believe, and it's something that can help bridge the cultural gaps between America and Vietnam. And it's a role which I think has been the most enjoyable part of my life. I've enjoyed being a mentor more than I was when I was a CEO.